Lần đầu tiên trên VTV7, một sân chơi tranh biện bằng tiếng Anh đã xuất hiện. Đó là những chiến binh tranh biện với tinh thần tự tin, văn minh và vô cùng sáng tạo.
Education is the key to the future.
Never satisfied with what you're having.
When will it be enough?
You are never too small to make a difference.
We think that the balanced view here is to know all perspectives, to know all the pros and the cons of what you're fighting for.
Họ đã cống hiến những trận thi đấu hấp dẫn và đầy cảm xúc.
Wow, like was so smooth, that was so well prepared.
I love the energy that comes from both sides. I love the enthusiasm that follows the energy and the good content.
Are going to one team. That is
Giải thưởng dành cho nhà vô địch The Debaters mùa thứ nhất là một chuyến học tập và trải nghiệm 2 tuần chương trình dự bị trung học và đại học của chương trình SACE International tại bang Nam Úc do SACE Việt Nam và Ủy ban trường học bang Nam Úc tài trợ. Và các giải thưởng do Trung tâm Anh ngữ RES trao tặng. Đội thi hay nhất do ban giám khảo lựa chọn nhận phần thưởng trị giá 60 triệu đồng. Người nói hay nhất nhận phần thưởng trị giá 15 triệu đồng. Đội có lượt phản hồi hay nhất nhận phần thưởng 30 triệu đồng. Và bây giờ đã đến lúc đi tìm nhà vô địch của The Debaters mùa thứ nhất.
hello and welcome to The Debaters, a game show for high school students here in Vietnam for debating. Produced and broadcasted by VTV7, the national educational channel in Vietnam television. I'm your host, Dustin Xavier. Today is the final debate of the quarterfinal. Here's the motion for tonight, that it is justified for parents to push their children to succeed, even if it comes at the expense of their children's immediate happiness. This topic is especially interesting today. For one reason, we have students here. This will directly affect them in their lives. Is it okay to push your children in a direction they don't like? Maybe their emotional and physical health declines? That's something we're going to find out very soon.
I think this team, girl, GDX, boy, NK, is very well organized. I think they've got a good structure and a good layout coming into this. Now they just need to get their arguments organized into their structure. Another thing we're going to look at is how to be a bit more direct with their rebuttals. Instead of falling back on things they've already said, is to rebut the other team in a more direct way.
Girl GD X-Boy NK is a team that I think is probably one of the best prepared team. They come into the sharing session with a tons of ideas. The problem with this team is that they currently do not have a structure, and the structure is very loose. So I think with this team, they need to put their great ideas. So I think they have a lot of work to find the data to back up the reasoning, and because the data is huge and the data can favor both sides.
I thought Team Chemical X did a very good job in their first debate. There was a few things about some of the delivery and style, so some easy fixes in terms of body language and tone of voice and things like that. There was a few times where the time management was an issue, so we're going to be working on that, and I think
the challenge with Team Chemical X is how to bring these complex ideas into a presentable format that can convince the judges and the general audience about the logical persuasiveness of their ideas. This motion is quite traditional. It's a very typical motion between parents' pressures and happiness of children. I think with such a conventional, traditional motion, it's basically it comes down to the reasoning and the evidence of each team to make sure that they come up with great reasoning, or even like reasoning that transcend the normal stereotypical reasonings. I think whichever team did a lot of research, because the research in this motion is huge. There's a lot of information out there on the internet. Whichever team does a better job in doing that and put that into their debate will be having a good chance at winning the debate.
So without further ado, let me introduce the teams. With the first team tonight, please welcome Team Chemical X. We have Hoàng Mai An, Nguyễn Hà Phương, Vũ Đức Hùng. Welcome again to the debaters. Tonight, you guys are going to be the proposition team. For the other team, we have Girl GD X Boy NK, which has Quyền Thi Hạnh Tâm, Quát An Nhi, Đào Thi Gắn Phúc. So welcome opposition team. Again, this is the quarterfinals. How are you feeling right now?
I think we're more confident this time,
Okay.
but again, we're still very nervous, and we hope that we well prepared for this round.
Opposition team, what's going through your minds right now?
I hope this is not the last time I stand here.
Well, it's okay, because afterwards you're going to sit down with your team, and then you're going to come up for your speech. So it won't be the last time, so don't worry. Thank you so much. If you can, please take your seats. So thank you so much. And now, let's introduce the judges for the quarterfinal debate tonight. The first judge that we have, Miss Nguyễn Thị, professional debate coach. And for the second judge tonight, please welcome Mr. Nguyễn Hiếu, co-founder and CEO of IEG. And last but not least, we have a very special judge tonight. His name, please welcome Mr. Soku Daniel Yoon, professional debate coach, founder, Secretary General of Debate Korea. Judges, thank you. Miss Ung, what do you have to tell our contestants tonight?
Well, contestants, we have seen a lot of good performance and the bar is pretty high right now. So trying to do your best and good luck with the motion today.
Teams, are you ready for the first debate? Yes! So and please welcome to the first debate from the proposition team, Chemical X, who got their name from the Powder Puff Girls. Please welcome Hoàng Mai An. From the opposition team, Girl GD X Boy NK, please welcome Quyền Thị Hạnh Tâm. Welcome, Mai An. How are you feeling right now?
Again, I feel so nervous right now.
So nervous.
Yes.
Like how nervous? On a scale of 1 to 10.
Probably 6.
Okay, so I can see the nervousness on your face, but a 6 is not super high.
Okay.
Let me come over here to, hi.
Hi.
Are you rating a 6?
I heard that Chemical X is a very powerful team, so I'm more nervous.
So girls, the rules for the first debate. You have 3 minutes to deliver your speech. No POI is allowed. Proposition team, you are going to be going first. Opposition team, you will be going second. Do you understand?
Yes.
Let the first debate begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the days you choose satisfactions over hard working is the days you choose to stop moving forward. For that, we believe it's justified for parents to push their children to succeed, even if it comes at the expense of the children's immediate happiness. Now, coming to the definitions of today's motions, what is to push children to succeed is to obligate children to follow and fulfill tasks which parents consider beneficial and important in the future. And under these motions, we want to emphasize on universal success related to especially career path. And immediate happiness is the temporary feelings which tends to be subjective and changeable. We believe that abusing and inflicting pain long term are not included under this motion. Now, I will prove to you the justifications of parents' rights on their children, and second, the benefits towards the children. We believe that Our world today is a very competitive market which requires people to have first lots of skill, awareness, and also knowledge. We believe that children under 18 years old, they haven't received enough legal rights and they haven't fully developed yet not only their physical but especially their perspective mind toward the world. The children, they haven't understood how life works and all the hardships in life. They don't acknowledge that having a hobby is not having a hobby in singing doesn't mean you can be a singer, but it must be related to self-promotion and privileges as well. Parents are justified because first they give birth and take care of the children. They understand the children best. And the second is that the government cannot take care of each and every citizen. That's why government give the parents the right on their children to decide what's best for them. The opposition's team may say that the children, they have their own autonomy, but yes, it's true that everyone has an autonomy, but having an autonomy doesn't mean your actions won't impact others, because we are living in an interconnected world, and interconnections is when we take care of each other. We believe that parents are the experienced one, and if the children are not succeeding, they are the one who understand most than anyone that the stress and guilt a person may suffer in the future for not fulfilling the responsibility towards the beloved one. That's why not only family, a person impacts on every surrounding person. They take social responsibility. That's why we believe that as a parent, by pushing the child, they are fulfilling the responsibility for not securing the life of a child, of the future life, and the people involving in that child's future, and also fulfilling the responsibility to the society. For all the reasons above, we are proud to propose. Thank you.
First of all, the proposition team said that parents' rights give them the rights to provide children with what the children are most suitable to, and also they have provided a prerequisite to our autonomy. However, we must consider the extreme cases that have increasing rapidly in our modern society. Yes, we see that parents have the ability and the rights to hope for the success for the children. However, considering all the extreme cases, we see that they don't have the right to control over the students' choices, and moreover, children are the ones who are directly affected by these choices, and most importantly, and so by controlling and not instructing or encouraging them, the parents are violating the right of the students to decide their own path, which is a very important factor to the well-being and also the development of the adulthood, as cited by the Children's Society of the United Kingdom. And also, second of all, you said that parents are experienced enough to understand the stress and the stressful world outside. And however, I would like to say that yes, we see that parents have the experience and the consciousness that they gain from their life outside. However, we must consider that the world is a constantly changing place, and today may be different from tomorrow. In the 1990s, you might be instructed to listen to the directors. However, now we are promoting creativity, and also you can start the own path of your own. And so we see that the right of parents, what is right for parents in their past, is not very right for us today. And so and lastly, you said about the fulfill of society. However, we see that when children are not pushed by passion, but pushed by forced to learn the things that they don't want, we see that they are not very effective in their life as they are not pushed by passion. And so, therefore, a life that is not full of passion, we see it as a life of no meaning and no value. Now, come to my context. We see that we are living in a materialistic world where children are very familiar with the representative numbers of rather than the pragmatic values of knowledge, and in schools they are forced to learn to earn high score, which equivalent to the success, and in their life, in the work life, they are expected by the society to earn monetary value, which is equivalent to the success. And nowhere in these cases we see that the children have the rights to their own decisions and also to their autonomy. And why is this? Parents, with their distorted sense of success, has minimized the immediate happiness of children. But why is immediate happiness so important? It's because it's the motivation and inspiration for the future that create a progressive society where people don't live under social norms, but instead live under with their passion, true self, and responsibilities. Which is why we, as the negative team, highly oppose this motion. Thank you.
All right, girls, congratulations for finishing the first debate of tonight. I know it's very difficult, but you did very well. So now it's time to hear from the judges. So judges, please take it away.
About the proposition sign, good case in general. However, I think that the classic argument about parents know best have to be more strongly reasoned. For the opposition side, I think that there are quite some problems that have not been addressed yet. Time management, and especially you have to characterize a little bit more, actually a lot more, about immediate happiness, because that is your winning ground in here. And if you don't characterize it well, there's some parts about the rebuttals as well that I don't really think that you did your best. For example, you keep saying that there's a lot of extreme cases, but you gave us no extreme case at all during your speech. My 10 points will go to proposition side.
I think for both sides, the initial setups are there in terms of having a debate to happen from the following speakers in terms of how these arguments are related to each other, and then how the justification happens in terms of what the clear implications of this topic would be. With that in mind, I think the proposition does a good job of giving me a realistic depiction of how individual families work and what the parents' goals are, and why the students might want to, should prioritize their future instead of what their immediate happiness is, while I think what the opposition is giving me are interesting ideas in terms of how the world is changing fast, and how immediate happiness might be a very beneficial thing for society. I think these two are very key points that hopefully will get delivered better in the following speeches. With that in mind, I also give my 10 points to the proposition.
Proposition side, I think you have some ideas that I want to have more clarification on your team. With the next speakers, when you say that parents give birth, parents understand best about the world, the government cannot take care of individual children, therefore it is an obligation of the parents to push students to success, because it seems to be like the core reasoning of your first argument. But for me, that connection from those reasons to the argument is quite weak right now. With the opposition team, I think all the points you bring up are very worth mentioning, it's very valid, and it's worth developing further. Also, I really like the point where you talk about now we focus too much on the representative numbers, not the pragmatic value of knowledge. And chasing after representative numbers in the society does not necessarily mean true education, true learning. I think these points are very well spot on. It just needs further development and enrichment of these points, right? I want to give 10 points to the opposition team.
So now, you're feeling good, right?
Better.
So do you think your teammates are going to be helping out, scoring some more points in the next round?
I trust my teammates.
Good. I like that. So thank you so much, my N. So Thumb, you got 10 points. How does that make you feel?
I would definitely want to try harder if there's a next time.
So girls, thank you so much. Chemical X, Girl, GD, X Boy, and K. Please take your seats. Thank you so much. So currently the proposition team, Chemical X, you guys have 20 points. The opposition team, Girl, GD, X Boy, and K, you have 10 points. However, it's the first match and we still have a second match after this, right after the break.
We believe that the winning team today is the team who can first justify the parents' responsibility, and second, Which team benefits the future of the children better?
And nowhere in these cases we say that the children have the rights to their own decisions.
I think the proposition does a good job of giving me a realistic depiction of how individual families work and what the parents' goals are.
Welcome back to the second round of the debaters. For the second debate, please welcome from the proposition team, BIểN NG. From the opposition team, please welcome ÄNG. What is the deal with all the pens on the podium?
I like looking at colors. It makes me calm down because I'm actually very calm right now.
Okay, so just hang in there, almost. Hi.
Hi.
You have a 10-point lead right now. How are you feeling?
I think that the debate is going where we wanted it to be, but we still have to be very careful with what we say right now.
So, girl GD X boy NK with 10 points right now, 20 points for chemical X. For the second debate, the rules here, you have 4 minutes to deliver your speech. POI is entirely open. Proposition team, you will be going first. Opposition team, you will be going second. Let the second match begin.
The entire opposition team's case and rebuttals today has completely based on the misconception that immediate happiness equals a long-term development and long-term happiness. First of all, you bring us up the case of extreme cases where children doesn't have the right to control their life. However, when children grow up, they will meet other factors and meet other people who will also encourage them to follow their dreams. The difference here is that if they still choose to follow their passion, this is a well-informed decision about the impact that it has on their life. If you decide to go against standards in society to follow your passion, you better know about the realistic outcome now than later on when you have to deal with them directly. Now, second of all, you've told us about the modern world here is different than the past. Yes, we completely agree. But first of all, the traits and the skills that you learn from these activities that your parents make you do, like hardworking or resilience, will always be needed in any fields and in any time. Second of all, social narratives like race or financial status are not likely to change that fast and that easily. And this is the realistic ideas that parents have a hold better than children. Third of all, you stated us here is that immediate happiness, a life without immediate happiness is a life without passion, no motivations. But this is a misconception. Why? Just because you're happy now doesn't mean your future will be happy and that you're not sorry. We are preventing children from being trapped inside that convenience so that they can keep trying harder, so that they can keep experiencing that happiness on a stable and a balanced lifestyle. And that is what we're leading towards in this situation. Now, to our second argument, which is that this decision benefits children's life. First of all, parents understand the competitive labor market better. And I'm not just talking about the economic development or the economic growth. I'm talking about the social factors like social issues that can affect one's ability to get a job. And this experience is much more superior than any acknowledgement coming from the child. Any activities the parents push you to do leading to success, like piano lessons or good grades, they nurture traits like hardworking or resilience, which are, again, needed in all fields and all time. These are hard to develop traits that need to be done at a young age. To survive in a market that will always demand more and more from our children, they need to learn to always push their boundaries. According to the International Labour Organization, 66% of industrial labor work in Southeast Asia will be replaced by automation. And this is only one example of how competitive this labor market is. Children are living a comparatively convenient life compared to an adult. And this pressure is to help them understand, to build the mindset that they will always have to try harder. And this is exactly why it is justified. Second of all, everything that children are satisfied right now are based on the opportunities provided to them. For example, winning a competition, that competition is provided to them. In the future, they are the ones who have to find these opportunities themselves. The level of satisfaction of others will become much more higher at this time, which leads them to a higher risk of falling behind. People only work harder and push their boundaries if they're not satisfied. If this view is not expanded at a young age, then children will grow up having a passive lifestyle and only being satisfied with what they already have. And this is exactly why immediate happiness doesn't lead to long-term development, especially with the trend of globalization. They will have a harder time catching up to their mates. And it doesn't stop at an individual skill. We're creating a generation that is passive and unproductive and doesn't find room for improvement. This is our future generation while halting the progress and development of the whole world. And this impact is much more greater than any immediate happiness that we can provide right now for children. And that is exactly why it is so important for parents to put this pressure on children so that they can have this mindset when they step into the realistic modern life that you're talking about. The constantly changing market of always demanding more from our children. That is exactly why this is so justified and we're so proudly to propose. Thank you.
We are creating an active word, and an active word doesn't mean that parents lead students, parents force children, but it is parents understand children and teach children how to go on with their lives, but not risking all of the immediate happiness that a child could have. Coming to my rebuttals, you say that immediate happiness is different from a long-term development. Then I ask you, you guys didn't define how immediate happiness can be. For example, to somebody, immediate happiness can be sacrificed in just a short time. For example, when they are from secondary and they get to high school, and then when they get into a good high school, that is a way of achieving success. For example, but some other people, parents say that, no, you guys have to be rich. If you are not rich enough, you guys are not successful. So how is successful you are defining? And how is immediate happiness? Because you didn't define and characterize that, we will do that in our argument as well. Now, you guys say that the labor is very competitive. It's hard to get a job and parents have more responsibility. You force your children to do something. It doesn't mean that the children will do exactly as you say. You force them to feel they have to be determined. It doesn't mean that they are determined. They are just doing that to make you satisfied. Now, we will come to our arguments to prove how this can hinder the social development. Therefore, it is unjustified. Now, let's come to the first thing that we want to tell you that social norms and perceptions can affect a lot. Now, how can it affect? If a parent is good enough to know exactly what to do for their children, they will be the dolphin parents type, which means that is a type of parents that are not too harsh, but not too soft. They go with their children, they support their children, not force their children to risk their happiness and do something else, because this happiness is very important. And how can that be important? Say, so this immediate happiness you see can be they like to play games or they are nasty, right? But you didn't define that. So we would say that immediate happiness can show you some traits of the children. For example, if they want to watch a lot of biological movies, for example, maybe they do like nature and they might do something associated with that. Right, now let's say, how can this happen? The social norms and perception now are not always true. For example, nowadays, people want their children to get really high score. And in standardized tests, they want these children to be successful. The increase of number of SAT preparation centers are increasing. There is a race for SAT and the race of high GDP. Next, people will become very cold and emotionless if you guys are always forcing them to succeed, but not really teach them how to really enjoy their life. In 2011 to 2015, 1 in 5 children get suicide because they cannot bear the pressure parents put on them. In the labor workforce, 8 to 10 people, 8 on 10 employees are not satisfied with their job because they are not allowed to choose that job. But that is the job they are forced to get, forced to be successful, and they cannot perform well without passion. Successful cannot be maintained for long if you guys are not really enjoying that. And they will easily drop it when their parents are not with them anymore. Therefore, we believe that we should let the children have their choice and we could only support them, not just forcing them. Thank you.
Okay. The second debate is over. How are you doing?
I'm not very good because I am not doing as good as I expected.
It's okay. The or the new thing in Vietnam, like sương sương, right? Sương sương.
Yeah.
All right, Phương. But you hit this 3 times. Did she answer those questions for you?
No, unfortunately. I understand what she's going through, and I really want to wish her team all the best.
You guys are debating, and you have opposite viewpoints, and you're so respectful of each other. It's fantastic. So, very good sportsmanship. I like this. Yeah. So, girls, it is time to hear from the judges.
I'm going to start with the proposition. I think the proposition was a very well-organized speech with astute points and good rebuttals, with an effective check on the misconceptions that are happening. I think you have additional arguments that are very effective, especially regarding the parents' knowledge and how the long-term impacts of that, how that would happen. The opposition you have in terms of the setup of the dynamic within the family was very detailed and nice, because how these individual students are reacting to what the parents are kind of forcing them on in terms of what their future is going to be like. How you're identifying the different points in which the proposition are lacking in terms of the strong definitions. And I think they will become kind of different factors as the debate proceeds onwards. So this leaves me with a very difficult decision, and I slightly vote for the proposition because of the better developed impacts in terms of how these families would look like.
As usual, Phương, you usually deliver very flawless speech. What I like most about your speech is that I personally have a lot of, disbelief about, how parents should trying to put pressure on children so children can get a particular goal. But somehow with this motion, I do help slightly. And when you talk about it, you totally persuaded me. And that was really, really rare of me to being persuaded immediately like that. For opposition side today, I see that your speech has a lot of good ideas. It is extremely potential speech today. Only 3 small comments in here is that first, good ideas, but the ideas are very segmented. I don't see the connected logic link between the ideas. Secondly is that when you use the material, you was a little bit clumsy in it. When you read it, it was not very smooth, and you lost a lot of time in it. Number 3 is that some rebuttals were good, but some rebuttal was not that good. So in this one, I would give my 10 points to the proposition side.
So with the proposition team, out of your 3 rebuttals, I really enjoy the second rebuttal, which is, I think, also your strongest team, which is the skills that these pushing will help the students develop are universal and it's transcending time, because it doesn't matter how the world is changing. The determination, the perseverance, the hard working, the ethics is always needed. It's something lacking in your speech. It's opened up space for discussion for the third debater. So make sure that you guys bring it up. With the opposition team, I think all your 3, I agree with my fellow judges that the rebuttals could have done much better. It's about immediate happiness. Just because I let my child pursue some immediate happiness doesn't mean that he or she is not going to be successful, because that's potentially where he or she finds his or her passion as well. Almost towards the end, you start to release a lot of nice numbers. It lacks development and linking back towards your argument. All right, I'm going to go for the hot this round. I think I want to see the third speaker bring it all home. So my 10 point goes to the opposition team.
Thank you, judges. So, Chemical X, Girl GD, X Boy NK. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Please take your seats.
Thank you.
So currently, with the proposition team, they are leading by 20 points with a total of 40. On the opposition team, they have 20 points. They are 20 points behind. However, with the third debate and the reply speech coming up, the opposition team can still win this. But we'll see you in a second with the third debate.
Yes, we completely agree. But first of all, The traits and the skills that you learn from these activities that your parents make you do, like hardworking or resilience, will always be needed in any fields and in any time.
So we see that the rights of parents, what is right for parents in their past, it's not very right for us today.
This motion I do help slightly, and when you talk about it, you totally persuaded me, and that was really, really rare of me to being persuaded immediately like that.
Welcome back to the third round of the debaters. So let me introduce the teams for the third and last debate. From the proposition side, please welcome Đức, Hùng. From the opposition side, please welcome TIểng, phúc. Contestants, welcome to the third and last debate. So, after your teammate Nghị finished, what's going through your mind right now?
Well, I'm going to try my best to achieve the highest score I can.
I love to hear that. I'm going to. The confidence on this side is very strong right now. I haven't come over there yet, Hùng. Okay.
Okay.
I think you're feeling good right now.
Kind of. I might be able to manage it.
I'd actually agree with you 100%. And this is the third match, which we're going to start. Third match. Let me explain the rules. Similar to the second match, you have 4 minutes to deliver your speech. POI is entirely open. If you ask a question, keep it under 15 seconds or less. Okay, proposition team, you're going first. Let's begin the third debate.
If you want to be happy, satisfied with what you have. But if you want to succeed, never satisfied with what you're having. And ladies and gentlemen, one day the children will have to get what they need by themselves, and succeed is the only way for them to live by. And that is a message we want parents to give to children when we push them to succeed. First of all, to rebuttals. The other side of the house, they say that there will be social norms existing, but parents can change by themselves. First of all, how are parents going to change against social norm when they are the one who are living in the society more? Secondly, even if they are type of parents who encourage the students along with let them satisfied with their immediate happiness, the modern world have too many distractions for the children. Social media, video games, television. How are you going to ensure that the children are going to work hard to gain success and to gain knowledge for themselves, right? Second rebuttal, they say that there are too many students taking standardized tests because they are forced to. But why is that bad? Because in the end, the standardized test results will be the thing that are going to help them in the future to apply for schools that they want, right? Also, they say that there will be children who goes emotionless. There will be children who commit suicide. But first of all, we believe that there are many reasons lead to this. Bully or even peer pressure, that parents are not the only cause for this. And we have said before, these extreme cases does not come with our analysis at the very beginning, as we have stated very clearly that parents only push the children to succeed because they can see how hard are the future going to be if they don't succeed now, if they don't try hard now. And as we said before, parents, they have seen the burden putting on the shoulder of an adult, not only the economical burden, but also the social burden that they have on the future. But before that, yes?
What is the point of having a job if you're not happy with that job? Because the ultimate goal of having a job is to have access to a high quality life.
If you want to have a dream job, but you can't find one, we would rather you have a job so that you can live by, right? You cannot wait until you have a job that you want or you are satisfied with. Now, come to our points, come to our clarifications. We believe that the parents have faced the future of children and in their previous, right? So they can see the burden of the children if the children then they don't succeed, and they have economical, financial burden, and they have to take care of their children, their loved one, including the parents themselves, right? And the parents will never want it to happen, never want the children to be called ungrateful, that is not have the ability to help the parents when they grow older. And now, to the extensions, we have said before that if the parents that push the children to succeed apply on a generations level, we will have a generation who are willing to move forward and will solve worldwide problems and find solutions, such as climate change, such as poverty, because they are not happy with their current life, and they're not going to stay with their immediate happiness. They're going to success, and they're going forward, moving forward. And now, to compare this debate on the principle ground, we have proven to you that, first of all, parents have the privilege to push the children because they are the ones who give birth to these children, and they know they have a natural bond with these children, and they know how and when and are they going to push the children, and they know the limits, and also the responsibility and the ability. On the practical ground, we have proven to you that children will no longer given opportunities when they grow up, and parents have to be ready, get ready for them. And happiness is a journey of children completing tasks, and parents have to get ready for them to have the happiness in the future. Thank you.
The opposition sides, all of their points rely on the fact that parents have the right to decide and to force children in order to be success. And if I can put this argument down, the whole case is going to collapse from the core. Now, first clash, parent rights versus children autonomy, which is more important. The other side believes that because parents give birth and give birth to the children, therefore they have the right to decide their destiny. However, we believe that in the first place, parents are the ones who choose to have children. They have the fact that they have to take care and they have to accept the failure of the children and always be encourage them is the fact that they have to accept. It is unfair to use this as a justification to restrict children's choices, since children themselves had no choice in being born. In fact, it's selfish because things like the things like they have to take care, they have to always encourage and accept the failure of their children is something that they have to accept it, and we believe that without the happiness, it will harm their mental health for entire life after the parents are gone. Yes.
Why would parents have to suffer the hurt of giving birth and then raise the children until the rest of their life? It's because of love, and we believe this kind of love is justified for the parents to push the children to happiness and succeed.
If this love is satisfied, they can encourage the student, they can encourage their children, and it's not that push them into an incredible pressure and then make them feel so depressions. Now, come to our next point. We believe that the final results is the things that directly affect the students, not the parents. Therefore, the future belongs to the student, and they have to have the voice in this. Every kind of their decision have to be taken into account, and we believe that autonomy is very important because, firstly, things like what you are interested in, for example, music, art, writing, or sport, that's what you know the best. And how much further can the child go before it's too much pressure? Only the children knows these things, and doesn't mean that parents should leave them completely up to the children, but it does mean that parents should at least take them into account and let the child guide themselves. Otherwise, parents are likely to push the children into the things that they aren't interested in. And now that's lead to my second clashes, whether it will benefit or short to the children. And I will say that this kind of happiness is not worth to sacrifice. We believe that immediate happiness we would like to characterize as once in a lifetime, because once the children have grown up, they have to face with lots of stress, pressure, and responsibilities. Therefore, they cannot experience the happiness of being a child anymore, and it's irreversible, it's irreplaceable. Therefore, we consider it's very important. And we believe that that many parents have a one-note idea of what their children's best interests are, and these kinds of conception based on the social expectation and the way that the parents themselves grew up. But this idea isn't necessarily consistent with what the children themselves are interested in or what the children's talents predispose them to doing. It's in the children's best interest to pursue what they are naturally inclined to, since this is what they actually suitable for and able to do well, which also make them happy.
Now, from to the last clash, that it will hinder the development of the society. Now, it can see that the society are always evolving. In the past, you only study half a day, but now you have to study all the day, and the school are reconstruct, which means that the pressure of education is more intense. School and parents force children to study more, and they have no time for self-acknowledgement. And with no self-acknowledgement, they can't find happiness and passion and motivation for work and study. Therefore, firstly, they won't be dedicated. They're so bored and they have no curiosity. Therefore, there will be no efficiency. And secondly, they cannot push themselves to have new ideas or innovation. The society with no innovative, no breakthrough will reduce the productivity and the quality of the working labor in the young generation. Therefore, reduce the development of the society. For those reasons, we believe that we strongly oppose to this motion.
Okay, what a debate. I'm very, very surprised by this one, and I'm curious to hear what the judges have to say as well. Let's hear it. This is going to be interesting.
Well, I think that I really obviously thought that proposition sign can easily take, like a lot of advantage right now. Your speech has a lot of ideas in here, and the rebuttals are there as well. The only problems I have with your speech are that, number one, there are some part that it is really repetitive. And, like the ideas about parents actually knows a lot because they have a lot of experience, have been repeatedly mentioning. And there was no outcome out of it. There was no conclusion out of it. And some rebuttals were good, some was not very good. But the thing that I really concerned in your speech is that the part for comparison is very, very limited. For Phúc speech today, very wonderful speech. The rebuttals were so on point that it basically, as you said, it touched to the core of the case of proposition sign, and you successfully partially pull it down. So in this round, obviously 10 points will go to opposition side.
Well, interesting. I think it gives me a lot of bum when I hear a good wrap-up case. Now, I think both of you have been trying to do is really highlight the strength or the strongest argument that you guys have. The proposition team, I think about 2 out of 3 rebuttals work really well for me, which is about the modern world distractions. There's so many distractions in this modern world that if we don't teach the student to push them for success, it's very easy to get distracted with these. With the opposition team, with the pressures that you guys having with the 20 points lead, and a lot of ideas untouched by the undeveloped by the previous 2 speakers, I think you did a great job in wrapping up the case as well. And as my fellow judge said, there's a lot of spot on, which is about children have no choice to be born already, and now have no choice to actually pursuing what they're supposed to do. I think it's a nicely wrapped up case, and for that particular reason, I give my 10 points to the opposition team.
I said in the previous round of speeches that I thought that was the best set of speeches I saw, and then now it may stand corrected that this might be what I think is the best speeches so far, because I thought the proposition team had kind of closed the deal. I agree that it may have been repetitive, but you don't have to have a lot of new things when you're winning the debate with 20 more points, and you can just kind of clean it up with a very clear set of here's what we said and here's what we're going to win with. So I thought it was a very well-structured speech in terms of giving me a good setup of how the debate happened and how the debate is going to happen. Then the opposition came in. Then the opposition comes in with, I even like the POI that came to the proposition speaker in terms of why would you even care about having a job when you're not happy with that job? And I thought that was the kind of the starting point of where good points from the opposition coming in and make this debate more interesting, because that sets up the opposition's speech very well. And I thought that was very well done. Then this debate comes into a very interesting set of arguments where both speeches were very good, with very good clashes in terms of how the arguments function within each other. And then the extensions of how the future is important, and then how the future isn't really that important if you're not happy inside that future, I think are very kind of interesting intertwining arguments that happen, and I don't know what to do now, because now apparently the debate is tied, right? 40-40, and I have to make the final decision. I think this is very, very interesting heading into the reply rounds, because I am also going to vote for the opposition.
So right now we have proposition team 40, opposition team 50. But the reply speech is going to probably determine the winner tonight. So right now, can you guys go back to your seats, please? We just finished a very surprising third debate, which is questionably one of the top debates that we've had. Right now, proposition team has 40 points. The opposition team has just taken the lead with currently 50 points. However, we do not have a winner yet. We still have the reply speech, which we'll show after the break.
They have seen the burden putting on the shoulder of adults, not only the economical burden, but also the social burden that they have on the future.
If I can put this argument down, the whole case is going to collapse from the core.
And a lot of ideas untouched by the undeveloped by the previous two speakers. I think you did a great job in wrapping up the case as well. I give my 10 points to the opposition team.
10 points will go to opposition side.
Welcome back to the Debaters 2019, produced and broadcasted by VTV7, the national educational channel here on Vietnam television. We have finished 3 debates with an astonishing take-back from the opposition. They were down, and now they're currently leading with the points. The opposition team is only 10 points behind. It's still anyone's game at this present moment. Without further ado, let me introduce the contestants for the reply speech. From the proposition team, please welcome ~NG Hጢ. From the opposition team, please welcome ~Anh Nhi. The reply speech. You girls know how important this speech is, correct?
Yes.
So, em khỏe không?
Em khỏe.
Em khỏe, rất khỏe. This is actually, I'm very, very curious to see how this round's going to turn out. Phương ơi, ciao.
Hi.
How are you?
I really, really do hope that I can do well in this speech to hopefully get the win for our team. And I still think that we have a chance.
I don't even know what to say right now. This is the closest match that we've had in the entire series of debates. This is the closest match that we've had in the Debaters so far. The rules for the reply speech, you have 2 minutes to deliver your speech. There is no POI. The proposition team, you will go second. Opposition team, hi.
Yeah.
You are going first.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes.
This is a very, very important match. Okay, let the reply speech begin.
Very big question that the proposition side haven't answered in this debate. How do you push your children? In our word, we actually did answer this question by saying that this is an extreme way of putting children, and now I will split this debate into 2 words, and we will prove to you that our word is all better than yours. Now, one more thing, you have no solution to the children who go under this pressure and suffering harms from their mental health when they are pushed. If you cannot solve this, no matter what kind of academic or career benefits you bring up, you are destroying the next generation. Now, let's have a closer look into your world. In your world, let's say that is your best case, that the children are successful, right? But why not happy? Because happiness comes from little things you enjoy every day. Happiness of the childhood is the lesson of feeling happy. That is the core emotion when you have with your parents, with your family, you share that. And that is a very big motivation for you to become successful. But now, yes, you have the success, but you don't have that incredibly important thing in your world. Because if parents only forcing children and don't let them feel the tiny bits of immediate happiness, maybe that immediate happiness is counted as parental love and they cannot feel that because you have reached that already. If people cannot understand what is happiness when they are young and they believe that success is everything, but you haven't even defined to us how success, what is called success? Success, what is success? When will it be enough? Therefore, the parents also, if they know everything, but they see their children as tools, they can never bring the happiness to their children. And in your worst case, of course, they're not happy and not successful. While in our worst case, if the children fail, they still have their family supporting them, not making them sacrifice their emotion for just success. Therefore, this is the world where people are successful and happy. Proud to oppose.
The opposition side here today has come to the debate, debating on this ground where parents have a tendency to be abusive and ignorant. Here's why. When you say that parents will neglect their children and strip away every source of happiness, we think that it's an unrealistic portrayal of parents and is unfair to be debated upon. When we say that we're putting pressure here, we're aiming towards a stable career or something that parents believe are beneficial to their future. So little happy things in life will definitely not be taken away, because if parents are aware of that, that is considered abuse and not considered in this debate. Second of all, if that child is good at something and parents think they have a chance to succeed in life, no parents will be so ignorant to the point where they completely ignore that possibility and push their child towards a failure, because that's the last thing that parents would want. Now, you constantly give us the thing where we don't bring you the definition of immediate happiness or the universal idea of success, when clearly we have said it to you in the first place. This is subjective. Short-term success here, we would debate on the ground of stable career. Now, even on your best case scenario here is that child is not personally happy with the parent's decision, and that child follows a direction where they're not happy with. You still do not tackle the idea and the impact that we've listed to you, how the impact of the whole generation, how the impact of our future and a passive generation is not worth fighting for or not worth being justified. We find that also a reason why we win. You've stated an idea of innovations, but innovations can only be achieved if you're not satisfied with what you have. And that is exactly what we aim towards when we apply pressure on our children here, is that we are aiming towards something where you will constantly try harder. You will constantly try to push your boundaries to achieve something more than what you have. And that is why this is the benefits that exceeds beyond individual skills, that exceeds beyond just the child's immediate happiness. That is the generation in the future that we're talking about. And that is exactly why we think that today here we have won today's debate.
Girls, congratulations for finishing the debates tonight. I know right now you have a lot going through your minds and you're very eager to find out the final results, but we're going to find out a little bit later. Because the judges right now, they are not going to give you any feedback as they did before. So, that means I need you girls to please take your seats. And everybody here is very curious to see who is going to win tonight. This has been one of the most intense debates so far on The Debater. You will find out the results after the break. Welcome back to the final results of The Debater 2019. Right here in my hands, I have the final score and the winner tonight. However, proposition team, chemical X, opposition team, girl GDX, boy NK. We have one more thing to say because there will be a wild card tonight. So if someone loses tonight, you still have an opportunity to move on to the semifinals. So please keep that in mind, regardless of the winner. There is still a chance to move on. With that being said, proposition team, you guys did a phenomenal job tonight. Honestly, tonight has probably been one of the most exciting debates that we've had so far on the Debater 2019. Opposition team, you guys did a fantastic job as well. And you guys, again, I'm very excited right now. I hope you are as well. And I'm just going to keep talking because I'm just going to drag on all the anticipation for you. And you want to know so bad, but it's going to take 10 minutes before we find out. I'm just kidding. Okay, so proposition team, you had 40 points. Opposition team, you moved up to 50 points. Tonight's winner by only 5 points goes to the opposition team. Congratulations, opposition team. Girl GD, X boy NK. Congratulations. Chemical X, you guys did an amazing job, and everyone here, this is a very, very close match. We're all really surprised, honestly. I'm not just saying that, but we're very, very surprised. Those at home watching, thank you so much, but also make sure to check out VTV7's Facebook and YouTube channel. If you're watching YouTube, hit the like button, smash that subscribe button, leave a comment, help support the debaters. We will see you very, very soon. Have a great night. Take care.